How's it going, IO? In this video, we're going to talk about the rescue mission for the missing Titanic submarine, the Colleen Ballinger drama getting worse, and the fact that Ava Max was attacked on stage. Alright, so let's get into everything that's going on with the Titanic submarine right now. Hopes are quickly fading for the survival of the crew of the Titan. One of their last chances at success involves a French robot that can dive 20,000 feet underwater. It's currently on its way to help find the tourist submersible that vanished on the expedition to the Titanic wreck. This could help free the sub if it's trapped inside the wreckage, although it does not have the power to pull the vessel up to the surface. The robot is called Victor 6000 and it can dive deeper than any other equipment now at the site in the North Atlantic. It has arms that can be remotely controlled to cut cables and do other things to try to release a stuck vessel. It arrived late last night, which gave it a limited window to try to find them before the Thursday morning deadline, when their oxygen supply was expected to run out. The operators confirmed that Victor is not capable of lifting the submarine up on its own, but they said that it could help hook Titan to a ship with the capacity to lift it to the surface. The robot has strong lights, allowing it to see through some of the murk at such depths, but experts warn that the rescuers would need to know fairly precisely where to look for Titan, which they just haven't been able to do. Unfortunately, even if the search teams do find the submersible, a rescue operation would take up precious time. As we know, the vessel went missing with 5 people on board shortly after starting its descent on Sunday morning. The passengers each paid a whopping $250,000 to seek out and explore the wreckage of the Titanic, a place few have gone before. The ship lies at a depth of 12,500 feet below the sea, making it inaccessible to those without a certain type of submarine. On board was British billionaire and owner of Action Aviation Hamish Harding, along with prominent Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman, along with 77-year-old French explorer Paul Henry and Stockton Rush, the chief executive officer of OceanGate, which is the firm behind the dive. A massive search operation in the Atlantic Ocean is now underway in an area twice the size of Connecticut. A glimmer of hope came on Tuesday and Wednesday morning when banging noises were identified by a Canadian aircraft. Remotely operated vehicle equipment was relocated to where the noises were detected, but so far searches in those areas have not come through with any results. Apparently the crew heard banging sounds every 30 minutes, which some interpreted to be a signal of SOS, though we don't know if those same noises have continued or what could have caused it. Despite fears that their oxygen supplies have run out, there is still hope in the most desperate of situations. Experts believe that the 96-hour supply number is an imprecise estimate, and it could be extended if the people on board have taken measures to conserve their breathable air. You can do this by either lying still as possible or even sleeping. One of the passengers on board is the CEO of OceanGate, Stockton Rush, and the person who founded the company with him in 2009 is Guillermo Solane, and he believes that the window for finding them could be a lot bigger than we think. He said, "Today will be a critical day in the search and rescue mission, as the sub's life support supplies are starting to run low. I'm certain that Stockton and the rest of the crew realized days ago that the best thing they can do to ensure their rescue is to extend the limits of those supplies by relaxing as much as possible. I firmly believe that the time window available for their rescue is longer than what most people think. I continue to hold out hope for my friend and the rest of the crew." If that is true, conditions on board the vessel would be absolutely horrid. It's been said that the passengers were told not to eat before boarding the Titan, and inside the vessel there is very limited rations of food and water. But the bigger issue would be the near freezing water at that depth, which is probably making the situation very uncomfortable. After a while, there will be frost that starts to develop on the inside of the sub. The men might be all huddled together trying to conserve their body heat, but at the same time they know they're running low on oxygen and they're exhaling carbon dioxide. Even the fact that they're trapped inside a tiny 22-foot tube with a single window and no seats thousands of feet below sea level would be enough to cause claustrophobia. At the moment, experts believe there's very few options for what could have realistically happened. There's a slim chance that they could be floating on the surface of the water, but even if that is the case, the vessel can only be opened from the outside, as it's fixed shut with 17 megabolts, so the oxygen supply would still be a problem. It's also possible that they're stuck within the actual wreckage of the Titanic, and in that case, rescue would be very difficult, considering just how deep the site actually is. The third scenario is sadly implosion, which would be instantaneous if the hull collapses under the enormous pressure. In that case, the chances of survival are 0. So let's just hope that they are successful in these desperate times. Alright, so this Colleen Ballinger drama just keeps getting worse. There's so much that's been coming out about this controversy, it's insane. So 2 weeks ago, she was accused of inappropriate behavior towards her young fans of Miranda Sings. She was specifically called out by a guy named Adam McIntyre, who shared a video exposing the inappropriate relationship that he had with her when he was 16 and she was in her 30s. And it turns out that Adam isn't the only one speaking out against her. A TikTok was posted on June 14th by a young woman named Becky, who alleged that Colleen routinely humiliated and exploited her underage fans for entertainment in her shows. Becky opened up about how she went to one of her shows when she was 16 years old, and she was called up on stage to be a part of it, but she soon got very uncomfortable when they started something called the Yoga Challenge, which involved Colleen controlling her body for the audience's amusement. Becky posted actual footage from the show, and it's really quite horrible. She said that even though she wasn't wearing pants, that didn't stop Colleen from continuing. She said, in fact, no adult at any point stepped in this situation. And the moment she'll never forget is when she was lying under Colleen while she was smirking down at her while thousands of people were laughing. She said, "I was terrified my body wasn't covered up enough. It felt incredibly violating. I was younger, my body was still developing. For her to use my body as entertainment on stage really set my confidence back quite a lot." Becky says she doesn't consider the experience to be SA, but it did make her feel nasty and gross, like she wanted to purge and clean out her insides. So of course, it seems like it was a really horrible moment for her. Other former fans of Miranda Sings have also come forward about their experiences attending her live shows when they were teenagers, and they said they felt very uncomfortable at the time. In a TikTok video posted just yesterday, a creator by the name of Grapes shared a video of Colleen repeatedly sexualizing her outfit on stage. Basically, she put on a hat and she whacked her chest area. The whole thing was really strange, and it didn't make a lot of sense as to why she would be doing that with someone so young. Another fan came forward claiming that they no longer support her after realizing that they were in a group chat created by her with young fans. Cody Tyler, a content creator and founder of the YouTube channel Cody Rants, was a longtime fan of Miranda Sings for years. They grew close with her and her family, and in a now deleted YouTube video called Why I Left the Colleen Ballinger Fandom, Cody revealed that they were added to one of her group chats that consisted of very young fans. Although they were an adult at the time, they were reportedly unaware of all the others in the online chat, and they've since issued an apology. Cody also shared screenshots of Colleen asking fans inappropriate questions, like trying to find out whether or not they've had any sexual experiences. For his part, Adam McIntyre seems to be leading these allegations. He claimed that the YouTuber would use love bombing to make him feel special, praising him and encouraging him to run her social media accounts without pay or accreditation. Later on, she also seemed to manipulate and bully him into doing free labor. Adam first connected with her when he was 13 and she was in her 30s. They met during a live stream that she was hosting with her friend in 2016. She noticed Adam's tweets and said that he was so funny that she just had to send him something. Then she sent him lingerie in the mail, which his mother confiscated immediately. They allegedly continued to have a friendship, and she even asked him out to lunch while she was in Ireland, which is where he lives. This relationship continued for some years until Adam posted something on her Twitter account which received quite a lot of backlash. At the moment, he's still coming through with more evidence of all these allegations, and he even started his own drama channel in the midst of it all. So be sure to check out those videos as this scandal unfolds. And now, did you see the moment that Ava Max got attacked on stage? Less than 24 hours after Bebe Rexha was hit in the face by a fan who tossed a cell phone during her show, Ava Max was slapped by a man during her concert on Tuesday night. A video from the incident went viral on social media, and it shows a man dressed in black storming the stage and reaching out in what looks like an attempt to touch Ava before getting wrapped up by security and hauled away after brushing her face with his hand. A fan at the show described the wild scene on Twitter and wrote, "This guy rushed the stage at the end, right, when the last song ended." The security guard tackled him and literally threw him down the stairs. Wild. It happened so fast. You can see here that she couldn't even open her eyes, but she still did M&G. For her part, Ava took to Twitter and wrote, "He slapped me so hard that he scratched the inside of my eye. He's never coming to a show again. Thank you to the fans for being spectacular tonight in LA though." This incident took place less than 48 hours after Bebe Rexha was attacked on stage. She was taken to a New York hospital when 27-year-old Nicholas Malvana threw his cell phone at her face during one of her live shows at the rooftop at Pier 17. The fan was then arrested and charged for the incident, and Bebe had to get stitches above her eye as a result of the phone strike. The question is, why are female musicians being attacked by men at their own shows? For most of us, concerts are about enjoying live music from our favorite artists, and while many can relate to the excitement of seeing our most love musicians in person, throwing potentially dangerous items on stage or straight up attacking people crosses a very clear boundary. No matter how famous they are, musicians deserve to be safe and protected, just like the rest of us. And just because they're opening themselves up to massive crowds, their personal space and privacy isn't up for grabs more than anyone else's. Fans have since taken to Twitter to share their thoughts over the recent events. One person wrote, "Someone jumped on stage and slapped Ava Max last night. Someone threw a phone at Bebe Rexha's head. Can we effing respect performers when they're working, please? Also, when they're not working, just respect them in general and not attack them." Another person wrote, "Leaving your house to attack a woman at her own concert is evil. It's wild that Bebe Rexha and Ava Max were both attacked in such a short period of time by two different men." Clearly, people are shocked and angry at this recent uptake in violence against female performers, and they're confused as to why it's even happening in the first place. Of course, it's not just women who are affected. Back in November, Harry Styles was injured after a fan threw hard candy onto the stage. He was performing the song Kiwi at the Kia Forum in LA, and then he was pelted with a shower of Skittles, some of which hit his eye. A video of the moment was then shared to Twitter, and the footage shows multiple pieces of candy zooming across the stage before one piece hits Harry directly in his left eye. In the clip, he immediately winces and holds his hand up to his eye, bowing his head towards the floor. As he turns towards the camera, he is visibly squinting, and it seemed like he couldn't open his eye for the rest of the show. Harry was later filmed driving himself home from the venue, where he appeared to be rubbing his injured eye. So obviously there was some real damage done. And just months before that, musician Steve Lacy had to cut his New Orleans gig short after a fan threw a literal disposable camera at him. He then smashed the fan's camera and walked off stage saying, "Don't throw crap on my effing stage." Also, early last year, Louis Thomason was the target of a crazy concert goer during a show in New York when someone threw a literal chicken nugget which hit him on the head. He shouted, "Who has hit me in the head with an effing chicken nugget?" He then threw the chicken nugget back into the crowd. So what is going on? Please let me know what you guys think about this story, and I'll catch you all in the next video.